Welcome to Attenuation, a weekly podcast where two friends come together to drink beer, discuss beer styles and trends, and just generally ruminate on the meaning of life, aka beer. If you enjoy your time with us, we invite you to become a weekly listener and subscribe to the podcast. Without further ado, here is this week's episode.
Hello, and welcome to episode 40 of Attenuation, a beer podcast. My name is Jason, and I'm joined by my best friend since 8th grade, Steven.
Hello.
I wrote pause in my notes.
I know, and you nailed it.
Yep, it's huge and bold. It says pause.
That's why we have a script, folks.
40 episodes in, we finally have a system. How are you today, sir?
I'm great. Ready to drink some beer?
Me too. I'm ready. We have a good topic today. We're doing a deep dive into Brooklyn Brewing, where you have been. I have not.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm jealous, and I want to hear about that when we get into the main topic.
Yeah, and I didn't know until I went how much history there is there, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I had no idea until we started doing some research, so we'll get into that. That'll be fun. But of course, we got to do the best part of the podcast, at least for us, which is drinking beer. So I'm going to introduce my beer and give some nose notes before I pass it to Steven to do the same. So I'm drinking from Heretic Brewing, which is in my neck of the woods, caramel Moo-chiato. It's like, it's got a cow on it. So
cow bathing in a glass of...
bathing in like a coffee.
In a caramel macchiato, yeah.
Exactly. So
Okay.
it's a little bit of a play on words with that. And this is a milk stout with natural caramel and vanilla flavor. And it's 6% ABV. And it's pouring how you would expect a stout to pour. Very dark.
Nice.
And then very fine bubbles that are forming a thick carpet head. It's dark brown. Oh, it smells like cold brew coffee and caramel and vanilla right away. And it has a really like dark roasted scent too. I think this is going to be very good. So I'll pass it to you to introduce your beer.
Awesome. Well, I also have a stout today. I had no idea what I was going to be drinking today. I left it up to my 12 days of Christmas beers. This is day number 2, so I just unwrapped it a few minutes ago. It is called Ridiculous AF.
Nice.
It is from Saloon Brewing in Webster, Texas. It is a Russian Imperial Stout with peanut butter and chocolate. It is 11.8%. So
Look out.
they are killing me with the ABVs in this brew box.
What was yesterday's?
It was a Imperial Red IPA from 903 Brewers. It was 11 something percent.
Dang, don't they know that these
I
are
know.
these are not...
And it was, you could taste every single one of those 11%. Like, it was so boozy.
Oh, wow.
Dank hops with like caramel note, like those deep caramel and toffee notes from the red, and then just dripping with booze. It was intense.
Nice.
So they started me off with a bang on that one.
Yeah, they're not messing around.
And they're not slowing down either. So anyway, I poured this out. It's actually probably good I poured it out a few minutes ago to take my picture for the Instagram, because now it's warming up a little bit because I took it straight out of the fridge. But it poured a very deep brown. So obviously we like to say they all pour dark with these stouts, but as it was pouring, it had a really nice brown color to it. Also in the head, a really, really dark brown. A lot of peanut on the nose, which is really impressive, because as I know from just brewing my own peanut butter porter, it is so hard to get the peanut butter flavor to come out.
Yeah, I want to hear more about that as well.
Yeah, this is like peanut forward with just a hint of chocolate in the aroma. A real nice nuttiness. Yep, I like it. I'm excited to drink it.
All right, cheers.
Cheers.
I'm a fan of this one. It's like black, maybe cold brew coffee on the entrance. And then you get the vanilla, you get the caramel, and then you get a bready stout flavor. And then the finish is creamy. And then it tastes like roasted dark malt and then chocolate. And because it's a milk stout, I don't know how to properly describe this, but it tastes like chocolate cereal, like without the sweetness. Like imagine Cocoa Krispies and milk. Like if you drink the milk at the end, but it's not as sweet. That's what the aftertaste of this beer tastes like. I really like it.
Nice. Yeah, can't go wrong.
So yeah,
Sounds fantastic.
Thumbs up from this one.
Awesome. Who was the brewer on that one?
It's Heretic.
Oh, Heretic. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Awesome.
How's yours?
Mine is really good. Definitely, as I somewhat feared, the peanut butter nuttiness certainly comes out more in the aroma than it does in the flavor. I think that's just how it is when you try to work with peanuts and peanut butter in your beer. But it comes with like a really great sort of roasted coffee bitterness, astringency, some real nice deep dark chocolate notes, and then there is this just sort of nice roasted nuttiness in the back end from the peanuts that works really well. And I think like the whole experience of just smelling the beer and really getting that overwhelming peanut butter smell in the nose, and then just taking it and drinking it and getting more of the like chocolate and coffee notes in the flavor is just a good, it works. Like you get enough of the flavor from the aroma that, it's a reminder that you are drinking a peanut butter chocolate stout. But it's really well executed, I think. I mean, I said to you the other day, I drink a bunch of barrel-aged stouts at Pint House Pizza, and I told you, I was like, I think I like stouts, but I like the very complex barrel-aged stouts. It's something about drinking something that just you can just sit with and taste so many different things all at once. But I have to say, this is very good and complex enough to where I can kind of sit through it and parse out flavors and enjoy the experience as well.
We're well on the way to my prediction that in 2020,
Well,
was it in 2022
saying,
that stouts will be your favorite, barrel-aged stouts will be your favorite style?
Well, what's funny is you said like, start with some gateway stouts and stuff. And I'm just like, I don't want that. Just give me the good stuff.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
Which is a terrible way. I can't even slowly progress through the hobby anymore. Even with the new style, I just like
jumping to the end
give
game.
me the unicorn blood, right?
Yeah. Well, I think you should drink as many. Cause see, you found this one you really like.
Yeah, and this
is drink these first, and then you'll appreciate, those barrel-aged ones even more.
For sure.
So thumbs up on that one, huh?
Thumbs up. I like it. Yeah.
Nice. 2 thumbs up day. That means we're gonna have a good episode.
Yeah, I've seen this one in the store for a while, and I've just never pulled the trigger on it. So I'm kind of glad it came in my box. This is definitely going to get me to try some new things, which I enjoy. That's why I'm really excited about this whole 12 days of Christmas thing.
Yeah, it's fun when you get a mystery beer. I mean, it's tricky when they're throwing 11% beers at you.
I know. I'm like, I got to drink one of these every day.
There's no way they're all going to be 11%.
Yeah, hopefully not.
All right, cool. Well, that was our drinking beer segment. And next we have some beer news this week.
Yeah, I came across just today, I think it did just actually release today, the news that Sierra Nevada Brewing, apparently they've had a long-standing relationship with St. George Spirits, which is based out of Alameda, California. St. George brews a single malt whiskey, or they distill a single malt whiskey out of a Sierra Nevada brew. And we learned this today. You make a wash. So Sierra Nevada essentially brews a beer that they then send to St. George, and then St. George distills that beer, that fermented beer, into a single malt whiskey. Anyway, that marriage of those two companies has existed for a few years. They just announced today that they are going to make a whiskey out of a beer that Sierra Nevada brews called Ruthless Rye IPA. So they're going to take that IPA, blend it with some whiskeys from different casks, and release that whiskey and just name it Ruthless.
Well, this was exciting news to me because I have never heard of St. George Spirits, but since you mentioned this news, I was doing some research, and yeah, they make a single malt whiskey. So that would be called a scotch if they could call it that, but instead it's a They should
Okay.
call it a Scotch style whiskey, right?
Gotcha. Yeah.
But they just call whiskey. And apparently it is very good, but it's very hard to get. So that's kind of where I would really like to get my hands on that. And I'm thinking maybe because it's in California, I might be able to get one from... I'm looking on Total Wine, and it says expected to be in stock soon in my local Total Wine.
Ruthless?
So, not Ruthless. I should see if they have Ruthless, but just their St. George single malt.
Okay, gotcha. The article says the distillation of Ruthless IPA completes this first release showing chocolate, turmeric, pistachio, fruit punch, and coconut notes on the nose. And on the palate, it shows marmalade, coconut, roasted pineapple, ginger, white pepper, and even Tootsie Roll notes.
Wow.
That is a flavor
I have bad news.
Gift basket, right?
I've done additional research.
Oh, yeah?
And I have very bad news.
What's the bad news?
Ruthless will officially launch this Saturday, December 18th, exclusively at St. George Spirits Distillery in Alameda, California. So I have to get in my car.
Somebody's taking a road trip.
Yeah. And you can only buy 2 bottles per person.
Wow.
So I don't know if they're going to distribute. It sounds like maybe they made a very small batch of these. I'll keep an eye out on Total Wine, but
apparently they
hard to get your hands on.
Yeah, I do think I saw something about how they had a release. They had some other limited release last week from St. George, and they didn't. I don't know. They just didn't staff it well, and so the lines were really long.
Oh, really?
So they like guaranteed that the lines would move faster this time. They'd be more prepared.
Maybe I should go. Should I go?
I don't know.
It's only a 2-hour drive for me.
I think it's $75 for a bottle.
I saw that. Yeah, I'll think about it.
It's like, I just dropped that on a fundamental observation.
I know, right? All right, I'll let you know next week if I drove to Alameda on Saturday.
Well, this is just to finish this up, I will add a quote from Ken Grossman, who's the founder and chairman of Sierra Nevada. He says, "I've been a fan of St. George's products for many years, and I think they're some of the most talented and creative distillers in the world." And
that's high praise.
Yeah, so he's pretty excited to have this Ruthless whiskey come out as a collaboration between the two. Pretty exciting.
Yeah, this is really cool. I didn't know about this. And what's funny is that it looks like they're selling it now, but obviously a big part of making whiskey is aging it. So I guess the collaboration started 8 years ago, and now it's finally done now. Collaboration 8 years in the making. Yeah,
so crazy.
That's pretty cool. So imagine that they got together to do this project, and they still have no idea. Well, I'm sure they tasted it before they bottled it, but you have to wait 8 years to see if it's any good.
So weird.
So weird.
I don't have much time.
All right, cool. Well, that was our news segment, so we can move on to the main topic, a deep dive into Brooklyn Brewery.
One of the OG breweries in the United States.
Yeah, I actually did not know this. So it was very cool to learn some of their history. And you've been to Brooklyn Brewery. Yeah,
so a few years ago, I can't remember, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, my wife and I made a trip to New York. And of course now I look back at that trip and I'm like, why didn't we go to other half? Why didn't we go? I have this list of 10 breweries where I'm like, why didn't we go there? But I just was naive and I didn't know. But one of the places for sure that kept popping up as a must visit was Brooklyn Brewery, and it wasn't until we got there and we took the tour that we started to learn this is one of the original breweries in the United States, certainly on the East Coast, kind of mirroring what was going on over in the West Coast with Sierra Nevada and Anchor. And I was doing research and going off on all these tangents. We'll have to eventually do some stuff on New Albion Brewing, which is one of the originals in California, and another one called Hopheads or something. So anyway, just a couple cool things going on the West Coast, and then Brooklyn And then, of course, Sam Adams, which we already did a deep dive on, were kind of leading the way on the East Coast. I guess we get into a little bit of the background. The Brooklyn Brewery was started in 1988 by two friends, Steve Hindy and Tom Potter. They had been roommates previously. Steve Hindy, so I did a little bit of research on him, and he's a really, really interesting guy.
Yeah, he was a Middle East foreign correspondent.
Yeah, he was a foreign correspondent for the Associated Press in the Middle East for about 6 years, a war correspondent.
Yes.
He covered the hostage crisis in Iran during the Iran-Iraq War. He himself was kidnapped in Lebanon and held hostage because he was with some group of Irish press, and for whatever reason there had been some sort of conflict between the Irish forces in Lebanon, and so they captured these guys and ended up shooting three of them. Two of them died, and one they were able to get out and lived. So yeah, he
was around the assassination of one of the presidents over there.
Sawat.
Yes,
the Egyptian president. He was sitting behind him when he was assassinated.
So, and he had two young kids over there, and apparently his wife said she gave the ultimatum of like, we're leaving, we're going back to New York.
Yeah, he had to basically choose between living a life as a war correspondent or going back and settling down with his family. So he chose his family. Interesting story, though, with that, with the murders of those two Irish guys. They ended up 30 years later, the Homeland Security came and visited Steve Hindy and said, it's okay, we're not here to arrest you. We have some information that maybe the guy that committed those murders is in the United States, in Detroit, selling ice cream. I guess they tracked this guy down. They realized that he had entered the United States illegally, and so he did an ID, like he picked him out of a lineup, and so did another guy that was there, Irish guy. They tracked down that was also there. I think it was the third guy. The guy had been shot that survived. They tracked him down, and he also positively ID'd him, and they deported him back to Lebanon, and he stood trial for the murder. So,
oh my gosh,
pretty cool for that
insane.
To come full circle.
Yeah, that is crazy.
So anyway, Steve Hindy's a really cool guy.
Yeah. One of the things that also happened when he was in the Middle East, apparently, this is part of the lore that I discovered, they have a really cool video on, if you go to their website, they have it's like an 8.5 minute YouTube video, actually really high production value, kind of talking about the whole story. But one of the things he got, because brewing alcohol over there in most of the Middle East was illegal, and someone over there gave him a home brewing guide, but it was called Perfected Techniques on the Evolution of Sugar, Water, and an Acceptable Catalyst to form an acceptable assimilative, imbibable potion appropriate for consumption. But it was just a home brewing guide, but they gave it a title that was, most
would not translate well, and
exactly.
it would confuse someone
what is this?
Whose first language is not English, for sure.
So that was I guess one of the things.
Yeah, he discovered this whole underground homebrewing among expats living in Saudi Arabia, so they couldn't get alcohol, so they had to make it themselves.
Got to make it yourself.
And he said a lot of it was really good.
So it's pretty amazing.
So when he got back, he was kind of bored. He was working as an editor, and if you go from being a reporter, journalist in the war zone, going back and just editing, he was pretty bored with his job, and so he just decided to start homebrewing, and then eventually was like, I think I could turn this into a business. And so him and his friend Tom.
Well, he got his buddy to quit too.
Yeah, they both quit their jobs.
Could you imagine, Stephen? They're cut from a different cloth.
No, we can't.
If you told me to quit my job tomorrow,
working as a war correspondent, he's cut from a different cloth.
If you told me we're quitting our jobs tomorrow and starting a brewery, I would hysterically laugh, and then I'd be like, "Wait, are you serious?" No,
we can't do that. he actually ended up writing a book about the business of beer and being a beer entrepreneur. So
Oh, that'd be a good read, I'm sure.
yeah, it would be interesting for sure.
Well, did you see? I'm sure you discovered this, but maybe I'm jumping ahead. But this is super fascinating. They got Milton Glaser to design their logo, and he's famous for the. I guess he's most famous for the "I Love New York." You know, like if you go to New York, you see it literally emblazoned on every possible thing you can purchase.
It's just like I heart New York.
Yes. And he designed that, and so I guess he's super famous. He also designed the DC Comics logo, which that was kind of cool. Although the lore is, at least in the video, that Milton said he's very easy to meet with, but according to Steve, it was very difficult to get an appointment with him, which is very funny. And they wanted to name it Brooklyn Eagle Beer, but Milton told them just get rid of the eagle,
like keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah, just like. I guess he said, why would you don't focus on an eagle when you can get a whole borough of New York? So like just be Brooklyn beer. So they dropped the eagle.
That actually makes a lot of sense when you look at Milton Glaser's work.
Okay.
A lot of it is just so simple. Like the Brooklyn Brewery logo is just this like cursive B in a circle. You know, the DC Comics, DC, and like it's a font. And actually, Milton Glaser has, I think, like 10 or 12 fonts that he created that you'll see.
Oh, that's really cool.
Like really famous fonts. A couple of them, the most famous are like stencil fonts. But if you look at his work, you see a lot of simplicity, just like the I Love New York. Like it's so simple, it's almost stupid, but I think I can see that coming out in his advice to just drop the eagle. You know,
yes, like don't make it overly complicated.
Yeah, just edit, you know, just call it Brooklyn Brewery. So I like that a lot. Yeah,
so he's responsible for the name.
Yeah, and one of the things about Milton Glaser, which is cool, is that they did have to work very hard to get to meet with him, and then they also had to sort of win him over with their beer. And
really?
Yeah, and once he tried the lager, because that was the initial beer that they were brewing, was the Brooklyn Lager. Once he drank that and realized how good it was, I'm pretty sure he designed the logo and was paid as like by owning a share of the company. Yeah, so he was essentially an initial investor in a way.
Well, I love the audacity of going for him. When you're like basically, it'd be like I feel like we went to somebody of him maybe, or like his modern equivalent, and we're like, hey, can you do the logo to our podcast? And he's like, who are you? Like, go away. Yeah.
Like, how many listeners do you have?
I'll pay you in equity.
Yeah, but if you had a product that you're able to show them
a good product
to make you believe, to make them believe in it that much, and that was basically the case with the Brooklyn Lagers. He believed in, he had enough foresight to go, yeah, I think this is going to be big, and sure, I'll design your logo for you for a share of the company.
All right, let's send him this. Let's send Milton Glaser this episode and be like, hey, will you just see how good this product is? Will you make a logo for us? You think we should do it? No.
Yeah. Okay, so can I tell you what I love most about Steve Hindy?
Yes.
The coolest thing about Steve Hindy is that he hates hard seltzer.
Nice. Did he throw shade at it?
100%. He hates it. He wishes it would go away. He hopes that it will go away and thinks that it might.
Man after our own hearts.
He refuses to believe that they would ever brew one.
Wait, that's not a hard enough stance.
Yeah, unfortunately, you have to take a business stance as well. And if hard seltzer keeps stealing market share from craft beer, they may have to. But
no, I don't like that.
He would never.
I want a hard line.
Yeah, I think like listening to him speak about it, it's basically a hard line. I just think he has to. Like, he doesn't want to look like an idiot if they ever had to make the business decision to.
I see. He's leaving himself an out.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure he would never brew one, or he would certainly never be involved in the brewing. He wouldn't want any part of that.
Well, their brewmaster, I don't know when he joined, but Garrett Oliver. Do you know when he joined the brewery?
1996, I believe.
Okay. He was working at Manhattan Brewery, I think, prior as like an assistant brewmaster, and then they took him on as head brewmaster. He's pretty awesome. He wrote a book called Brewmaster's Table, and he's a longtime judge at the Great American Beer Festival, which is that's got to be that's a really cool position to hold. But yeah, I don't think he would waste his skill on a hard seltzer.
They brought him on, I think, a little bit before 1996, and then in 1996 he helped design their facility and their tasting room. And then that was the year they added East IPA to their lineup, which is, I think, one of their top-selling IPAs. But yeah, he's highly decorated.
Yes, lots of awards.
In 2003, he won it's called the Semper Ardens Award for Brewing Excellence. In 2014, he won the James Beard Award, and that award is for Outstanding Spirits, Wine, or Beer Professional. He was the first beer brewer to win that award.
That's amazing. Because that's like, yeah, you got to beat out all the other things.
All the winemakers, right? All the wine professionals. But yeah, he was the first, and then the only two other ones that have won that award are Sam Calagione of Dogfish Head and Rob Todd from Allagash Brewing. Those are the only two other brewers that have won the James Beard Award. So definitely highly decorated. Yeah. Yes. A very, very talented brewer. So.
All right. Well, I trust him not to make a.
Yeah, it's beneath him for sure. So have you heard of Black Ops?
Yes, I have. Well, I came across it in my research because it sounds cool, but it also sounds really hard to get, unfortunately.
So apparently it was first brewed in 2007 as a secret gift for the staff as a holiday surprise. So it's a bourbon barrel-aged Imperial Stout called Black Ops. And then the legend around it grew, and they still don't talk about too much like how it's brewed. But yeah, like you said, I don't know how easy it is to get.
Yeah, I think it would be a tricky one to get your hands on, but it sounds really good. And it's a bourbon barrel aged stout, which is like my jam.
It only has a 93 on Beer Advocate.
Interesting.
Which, I mean, is pretty good, but...
It's really good. World class. You're saying it's not going to dethrone Fundamental Observation?
No. It just gets the outstanding rating at 93.
Oh, it's not world class? Is world class 94?
No, I think you have to be 100 to be world class.
Oh, I thought it was like somewhere in the mid-90s.
I'm not sure.
All right, well, we'll try to get our hands on a Black Ops.
Put it on your list.
It's on the white whale list.
If it ever comes up on Craft Shack, I'll call you.
Okay, call me and make me spend $75. They just finally fulfilled that order, by the way.
Oh, nice. Okay,
I was getting ready to email them. It's been like 2 weeks now. It hasn't shipped.
Mad typing. Where is my Fundamental Observation?
It hasn't shipped, but it says fulfilled.
Oh, that's good. It's coming.
So I'll get it in like 2022, I'm sure. Like February. It's fine.
With all the delays these days.
Yeah. It's worth waiting for. And unfortunately, that's out of driving range. Otherwise, I would drive. I mean, I could, but it's like 7 to 8 hours.
No, you don't want to do that.
Let's see. What are some other fun facts about Brooklyn?
So one of the really cool things is that in like 2017, 2018, they ended up teaming up with 21st Amendment Brewing.
Oh, nice.
I think they're in Alameda.
Yep.
And Funkworks, which is in Denver, Colorado. And they created this sort of national platform for sales and distribution between the three breweries. So you kind of had like a West Coast, East Coast, and centralized brewery. And they were able to kind of share distribution channels and create, basically grow together and help each other grow their distribution. It was kind of unprecedented for them to join. I think Brooklyn ended up buying small portions of Funkworks and 21st Amendment, so they were kind of the major player. But Brooklyn Brewery also exports a lot of beer out of the United States. They're the 12th largest exporter of beer, so they have a huge global distribution as well. So anyway, they could bring that expertise to these other breweries and then grow their distribution together. So it's pretty cool. That alliance, I guess, ended up coming to a close just last year. So it only lasted about 3 years.
Oh, that's too bad, because I was going to say, maybe I can get a bunch of their beers then.
Yeah. I'd be surprised if you couldn't. I'll bet at Total Wine you can find Brooklyn stuff.
I'm looking right now. They have the Hoppy Amber,
Okay.
and they have Black Ops listed, but it says unavailable, not eligible for shipping. I don't know. It's telling me all the things that mean like
You're never going to get this.
yeah, like they probably got one, but I missed it. All the best, because like Total Wine and Bevmo will deliver, but like I don't know, a lot of the good stuff. If you don't see it the day they post it, forget about it. It's gone.
Yeah. Well, I think the coronavirus was a little bit had a lot to do with the dissolving of that partnership.
Okay.
Mainly because they just sort of had to dial it back a little bit and focus on local distribution and kind of figure out how to wade through the environment that COVID-19 created, because it was just strange for everybody. And then, of course, every state has their own rules of what could be open and what couldn't. And so each of the three breweries had like sort of different experiences and different challenges to work through, and so it just made sense for them to kind of like pull back and do those independently.
No, that makes sense. Hopefully maybe they can kind of revitalize those sort of alliances as we exit the pandemic.
Yeah, but really cool brewery. I loved the tour. They gave us Bel Air Sour on the tour, which is a dry hopped sour, which is like is the way to my heart. It's a hoppy sour.
Yes.
It's really good. It kind of gets mixed reviews among like beer lovers and people on Beer Advocate, but I think if you like hoppy sours like I do, it's a really, really just sort of classic, nice like lemon, lime, fruity flavors, like kind of stone fruit flavors, and then this just nice hoppiness that accentuates that. I love it. It's such a good beer. I drank mine on the tour, and then my wife was like, "Here, you can have mine too."
Oh, bonus.
Bonus beer.
Yeah, I absolutely love hoppy sours.
Yeah, it's a great style. And then
Bring it back.
At the end of the tour, they took us into this really cool tasting room that they have, and they poured us some sort of reserve. I don't know what it was. It was special, but it was a saison, and this is why I don't like saison. I smell it, and it smells so good. Like, it smells perfect.
I agree.
It's a little funky, it's fruity, and then you taste it, and it just tastes nothing like it smelled.
Yep.
So.
That's exactly the same problem I have with it, and I don't really like the wet dog, like the barnyard wet dog.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think we said it like 30 episodes ago that we got to work on that style, but I haven't done any. I have done.
We have
zero
not
work.
made any progress.
No, zero progress has been made. 2022. That's gonna be my resolution. It's gonna be.
Still, the only thing we talk about is how much we hate saison.
Yeah, I'm gonna find a gateway saison, and I'm gonna drink it over and over and over again.
Oh my goodness. So that's Brooklyn Brewery. I don't know if there's much more to say about them, but they're still going strong in Williamsburg, Brooklyn.
Yeah, I would love to get out there, and I'm gonna definitely be looking to try to grab one of their beers locally so I can try one, because I don't think I've ever had anything from that brewery. So I'd love to try something, especially after learning their history.
I'm surprised we never tried anything at the beer festival, because they're usually there.
I feel like the logo, maybe it's a testament to its design and its simplicity, but I swear, like, it looks familiar to me. Does that make sense? Like, I feel like
I think you
they
tried
had a big
something
display.
there.
Yeah, I just don't remember. But yeah, no, very cool brewery with a really cool history and some charismatic owners, which is always fun. So I think I would love to get out there.
Steve Hindy he's now a hero of mine. He just has cool stories.
Yeah, that's really cool.
And he like still lives on the same street. Like, it's a different house, but he still lives on 8th Avenue in Brooklyn. Like,
oh, that's amazing.
It's freaking cool. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that commitment to a neighborhood, because that's what it's always been. Brooklyn apparently was they had like 40 some odd breweries in the late 1800s, and then in the 1970s there were two main ones. I can't remember their names, but they went out of business, and so he essentially revitalized Brooklyn, and now he says there's 14 breweries all within like a few miles of his house now in Brooklyn.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
See, it's the classic story. It's a classic story of one guy and his or two guys in this case, but they were like, you know what? No. Either this style won't die or craft beer will not
Just
die.
craft beer in general.
Yeah, and they make a stand. That's really cool. And that's cool that they still live right there.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Huh, okay, this is a good one.
Yeah. So
and what do they make right now? Like, what should I look for?
Well, Brooklyn Lager, I think, will always be their flagship beer. Special Effects IPA. Oh, actually, I think Special Effects is a non-alcoholic. That's a newer.
Yeah, I know they're making Special Effects is their 0.5% ABV IPA.
Okay. But yeah, East
IPA. I think
East
that's
IPA is their big one.
Yeah.
Brooklyn Lager. Bel Air Sour, you'll see.
That was the hoppy sour?
Yeah.
That's what I want to find. Bel Air Sour. Yeah, Bel Air Sour. They have I like their website. They have them organized by year rounds and then like limited releases. Yeah, Bel Air Sour. Okay. I'll see if I can get my hands on this. We'll try it on the podcast.
Oh, and then that Hoppy Amber you mentioned. Yeah. Pulp Art Hazy IPA. Stonewall Inn IPA.
And then I'll see if I can find Black Ops.
Good luck.
Thanks. All right, well,
okay,
I think that's good for Brooklyn Brewing. That was a really fun deep dive. If you want to contact us, you can email us at contact.attenuation@gmail.com, or you can also contact us on Instagram or attenuation.podcast, where Steven holds it down with lots of pictures. I took a picture tonight, so maybe I'll put it up there, but it's not. Steven's photography skills have been increasing over time, and mine have not. So you'll be able to tell which picture is mine.
Well, I just posted a picture. Well, this episode will come out a weekend of the beers, but if you look back at day 2, that's the beer I drank on this episode. So.
Oh, nice. You're going to be on day 9 by the time we record again. So
yeah.
Good luck, sir.
My liver will be done.
Hopefully not all of them are 11%. All right. Well, this was episode 40 of Attenuation, a beer podcast. My name is Jason, and I'm joined by my best friend since 8th grade, Steven.
That's me, and congratulations on 40 episodes.
Yeah, congratulations to you too, sir. Yeah. We got 12 to go, and we'll have a whole year.
Yeah, we're almost there.
Almost there. All right, well, we are saying cheers and farewell until episode 41.
All right, cheers, buddy.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode of Attenuation, a beer podcast. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast and follow us on Instagram or Facebook for more fun content. Catch you next week. Cheers!